Hey guys, my name is Edwin, and you already know the deal. We're finna make another video. Alright, guys, but this time is a story time, so don't expect too much. This story time is this. Well, there wasn't much to post, so I'm gonna just continue ranting on, because there was this one comment. He said, all he does is just rant. Yes, I'm gonna rant this time, guys. I'm gonna have to rant. So, this story time is about the first time I've gotten intoxicated. By that, I mean the very first time I got high. So, this is how it went, right? In middle school, in 8th grade, I believe. Yes, it was in 8th grade, I believe. Um, I was a liar. I was a very deep liar. I told everyone I was doing Xans, I was doing LSD, that I was getting high as a mud trucker, right? People, some people knew it was BS. Some people knew that it was. They were like, well, some people thought that it was like, oh yeah, he does that shit. He does that shit. I see no, I see no. Even though they never see me fucking do it, and when I quote unquote did, I'd be acting like if I'm on that shit or not. But I was a liar, bro. I was just such a liar. But anyways, so my friend who will call, well, at that time, he was my friend who will call Abraham Lincoln, right? No association at all, just a random name. Abraham was like, yo, Brody, how you been? It's good, man. What's up with you? And I'm like, oh, nothing much. What's up with you? He's like, listen, bro, I got this gummy bear. This gummy bear is a special gummy bear. And I was like, oh, yeah, what's up? Yeah. He's like, here you go, bro. And I was like, you for real? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, bad. So I was like, okay. My first time ever gonna get baked with a gummy bear. And I was just like everyone, what they say about their first times and their first stories. I took a half bite, right? Because he told me to take a half bite. I took a half bite. And then we got into classes, right? First period passes by, nothing. Second period passed by. And I was like, man, these edibles ain't shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take the other piece. Yes, I took I took a whole gummy bear. And I was like, okay, it ain't doing nothing. So I might as well just fake it like how I usually am. And I was faking it. I thought I was faking it. But actually I was pretty baked. Because everything to me was funny. I started laughing so hard. I was chilling. I was vibing. I was just like, okay. But I didn't feel like I was, how I imagined it. So everything made me laugh, I didn't see anything move or like anything. I was just like, okay, whatever. It's just whatever. I guess I got robbed. But even though I didn't pay for it, so it's all good. I ain't tripping. And then out of nowhere, it was lunchtime. And I was like, all right, might as well just go lunch, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, I was chilling, walking, I don't know what for, but I was laughing. And then my homegirl, who will name yeah, my pulled me aside and she's like, yo, are you a fucking idiot? I was like, what? What happened? He's like, yo, you took the whole fucking, he's like, you took some weed? And I was like, what? He's like, you took this? And I was like, oh shit, I did, which is edible. You took an edible? And I was like, yes, I did. And then that's what, because I remembered, boom, it hit me like a 13-wheeler, yo. I'm talking about like if I got hit by a car, that's how hard it hit me. If I got hit by a car, it's the best way I can describe it, dog. When I tell you this, I swear, when I got baked, I got more baked. You know how your phone be lagging like on the frames per second, or how your camera you record, but then it goes like slow and then slow, but you move your phone to record everything, but it's slow. Yeah, it was like that, and a blit of blurriness, just a little bit of blurriness, and I was like, oh no, and then that's when it hit harder. I was like, oh shoot, no, this can't happen. This can't happen. Please, 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 this can't happen. And thank God I was tripping out really bad. I mean, first of all, in my mind, I fucked it up because yo, I was chilling. I was just chilling, vibing. I was just having a good time. It was eighth grade. A lot of stuff has happened at that time during that period when I took it, because I was going through a heartbreak, and then I was just a little bit like whatever. But I was doing I was just chilling. I was just doing my own thing. But bro, if it wasn't for her, bro, in my mind, I would have been chilling and I would have never felt it, and I would have been like, man, this is not my shit. But bro, I was so baked. I was so baked to the point where I was like, no, 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 no. I'm screwed. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm caught. I'm gonna be caught. And they try to calm me down, and it did help a little bit, but it wasn't enough. And then my might tell me, to go get some food with her. And I was like, all right, so I went. And I tried pressing, because they ask you for a pin, right? And I tried putting my pin, but it was so hard because I kept on, like, zooming in. My eyesight, at least, kept on, like, zooming in and out. In and out. But most likely it's because my fucking head was moving in forward to see the numbers and then moving out, now that I'm realizing it. But yeah, sorry guys, I'm in the toilet. I'm in the bathroom. But as I was saying, I was trying so hard to press the button, but it was so hard. It was so difficult, but I was able to manage it. Barely though. It took like 3 minutes just trying to do that on a 4-pin password. That's crazy. And for some reason, I thought because of Minecraft, milk would calm it down, right? Because that's what I learned in Minecraft. Bro, apparently some of my pothead friends were like, no, you made it worse. And, I told everyone that I also took the whole thing, and it was bad. It was just a bad chemical reaction, and boom, boom, boom. And all right, whatever. Point blank being is, lunch was over. I went straight to my math class, and my teacher, I won't say his name, so I'll just say long hair, because he had long hair, really long hair. And he see me, and he knew what was up. He's like, oh, you're good, you're chilling. I was like, but in my head I was like, no, I'm not chilling. And for some reason I thought it would make logical sense if I said, oh, I got hit in the back of my head and I feel dizzy and I'm not feeling good. But bro, I'm gonna be honest, it did not work, because all I was doing was, or all I said was, hit me head. I was just mumbling it out. I tried my best to pronounce the words, but it was just bad. It was bad, I tell you. It was so bad. But he got the gist, right? He didn't say anything or anything, but he got the gist. And he let me off, and he let me be. But when I tell you guys, I didn't feel good. And the worst part is, this class, right? This class, I had friends, female friends, and then I had my at that time ex. This is gonna be a good for a reason, right? Everyone minding their business, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to relax. I need to chill. So what I did was sat down on my table, right? And then I put my head down. Biggest mistake of my life. The moment I put my head down and closed my eyes, the whole class was starting to spin and spin and spin. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Please don't, please don't. And then I got up, and then it got worse. I saw everything spinning and spinning and spinning. I was like, no, 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 no. Put it down, put it down. I put my head down again. It got even worse. It got even worse. And I was like, no, no. And then I had the urge to vomit, because my boy, like, everything was starting to spin around. Like, come on. So after that happened, I was like, no, no, please, please. Is there a trash can nearby? Because I had the urge to vomit really bad. So I grabbed the trash can and I vomited out. I vomited out everywhere, bro. I'm not even playing when I tell you this. I vomited everything out, and then boom, everyone saw. They were like, oh, yo. They were like, they were just saying everything. And then, like I said, in that class, I had an ex that we recently broke up. And then boom, I was like, oh. I looked at her, she looked at me, and I was like, oh, why did it have to be this class, yo? Whatever. So then my teacher, Mr. Longhair, told me, yo, you need to get out of the class. Go to the nurse's office. And I was, well, go to the nurse's office or the main office. And I was like, oh, shoot, they're going to find out. And I knew they were going to find out if they, the moment they sent me there. So what I did was I rebelled. Yes, at that time I was a good kid, but I rebelled. I said no. Well, in his eyes, I did leave. I packed my stuff up and I left. But bro, I was just waiting for the next class. I was like, all right, I'm going to just wait out here in this pouring rain. The worst part, it was pouring rain. So every little raindrop, it felt like needles. It felt like needles falling down. And it hurt so bad. Oh, just reliving it reminds me, it was so bad. Oh, so I don't know how long I waited out there. I think it was like 5, 10, 15 minutes. But it felt like forever. Maybe it was longer. Because I kept on putting my head down at times. But, it was so bad. And then, it was already, class was over. And then I went straight to that class. It was a science class. And I just put my head down. I went to sleep for a whole hour. And then I went again out. And then I went in to another class. And I slept the other hour. And I woke up and I remember me being right across from a table from a female. And I was like, I don't feel good. And they're like, just rest. I think she knew because people told her. But I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm going to just rest. And then from there, I think, yes, that same day. Bro, it was the worst part. My mother picked me up. When I tell you this, my mother, just keep in mind, I was the type of kid to go walk home. And for some reason, she picked me up. That same day, she picked me up. And I was like, oh no, act cool. But luckily, the high came off a little bit. So I was just chilling for a little bit. But yo, my mother was like, why are your eyes red? And like I said, at that time, it was kind of like a recent breakup. And I was like, I just saw that chick and, she was doing this and that. Even I was just making that shit up, But deep down, because I was blazed out. And I was like, yeah, I'm just depressed. And she's like, oh, okay, I get it. No worries. Ooh, thank God I pulled that out of my ass, bro. Ooh. Damn, bro. Just remembering that. And then the next day comes by, right? And I was just like, yo, that was the best. Yo, that shit was too litty. That's what I thought. I don't know why I had that mentality, but it's because I never done that shit before. Because, I lived in at the time it was strict, parenting. So I kind of wanted to rebel. But if I were to recommend this, bro, if I'm being honest, stay away from it. It's better just stay away from it. I don't recommend it. It was pretty bad. Like I said, it was a horrible experience. And then from there, it led to more horrible experiences. And as of now, I've actually don't do that. But later on in more videos, you're going to hear me, talk about it even more. Because it was part of my life. It wasn't like a full, I was addicted. None of that. It wasn't like a daily basis type of thing. It was like once in a while, blue moon. And then on my skating era, it was a little bit more. But not really, though, if I'm being honest. Because I was always, I don't know. For me, pot wasn't really It wasn't really attractive. It's just that since I got used to the whole consuming it because of my peers around me, like I said, I genuinely don't recommend this because it was just in a bad addiction mood. Not only that, but you spend like several hundreds of dollars. Money goes on quick like that because of that shit. Like I said, I don't recommend it at all. It's horrible. It was horrible. I'm telling you my experiences because, like I said, it's pretty interesting. I liked it, The stories. Not the consuming part. Because now looking back at it, I'm like, I could have done, better. And luckily I did save my money because I was also a stingy bastard. But yeah. Like I said, it was not something I'm proud of, but hey, I learned from it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, comment. It was, like I said, it was just a bad case. Let me see what other stories I have in my arsenal about the pothead stories. think that's about it, if I'm being honest. Like, my most genuine, like, oh no, you know? Other than, but not that one, not that one. Not yet, at least. All right, I think that's it, guys. Take care. Love y'all. Peace out.